Welcome in to the Be Unexpected podcast with Wyatt and Jake. Today we have Fremont alum Jesse Vitamvas. Jesse, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
Mm.
Good.
So Jesse and I, we were in the same class, graduated in 2014.
Mhm.
Jake, a year behind us in 2013, but we were all in the same music class freshman year.
Mm.
Was that right?
Yeah. Well, it would have been no, it actually would have been my junior year.
Yeah, so
Really?
you guys were juniors and I was a sophomore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse
Yeah.
was me and Jesse were in freshman year, and
Yeah, and
then
then I came in. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
weren't in it. Were you in it sophomore
Mm.
year too,
Yeah.
Jesse, or not? I can't.
No, I so so with the all guys choir, I was in their freshman year. Then I went to the JV choir sophomore year. Then junior year, I was in the all guys choir again, and then moved back
Yeah.
up to the varsity choir for whatever reason.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
all men's
So
choir, man, we had some studs in there. That was quite that I don't want to say
I
it was a joke, but man, it
yeah.
was a fun
In
time.
sports
Yeah, it was a
terms,
good time.
Yeah.
we were reserves.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. You need a reserves team, right?
exactly. Like my parent, like I don't know about your guys' parents, but my parents were like, you need to be more culture. I was like, I would do one concert for you guys. All right.
Mhm.
So you get one
And that's all
concert out
that
of
was
me.
required. That's all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was required
That's
too.
all that.
Exactly. We just
Yeah.
have to do one concert. We get to watch musicals some days instead of
Yeah.
doing any work.
Yeah.
So, me
Yeah,
and Jake weren't as dedicated as Jesse or as talented.
Yeah.
uh,
So
Definitely
I
not.
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that ever,
compared
but
to us, you're definitely the best one here.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Jesse, why don't you just get into like growing up and your interest in sports and music?
yeah, so obviously growing up with you guys, my the sport that I really enjoyed playing was football and stuff. So I mean, you dedicate what? Probably, yeah, seventh grade up until my junior year and stuff. So dedicated all that time for football and stuff. And in the midst of all of that, I did a lot of theater stuff with school. And then obviously, like we were just talking about, a lot of choir stuff. Um, Obviously, when I got into the JV and varsity choirs, it was a little bit more like we had quite a bit more to do than we did in our men's choir. So it's always kind of like funny to think about the amount of dedication that you actually have to have for that stuff. Like I'll see Harmon around town and stuff, and it just makes me think about like, when we would have musical season, like how many nights we would be at the high school until like 9 o'clock. And I'm sure you guys think about this with like sports too. That's like we were at the high school like most of our lives. Like especially like you guys were multi athletes. So you guys did more sports than I did and stuff. So like you guys were there literally all the time. So like I think about, like football season, it's like you're there until about 7 o'clock at night. And then when you have games, you're there until about 9 o'clock, sometimes 10 and stuff. But like with you guys, like you guys were doing multiple things. So it's like you guys were there all the time.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
musical, like right now we're probably I'm sure I think the musical's soon. And
Mhm.
and talk about some of the like prep. Were you guys there before school and then after school, like the weeks leading up just on end and then on weekends and stuff?
Yeah, so I don't remember many mornings actually, but there were like nights. Like I remember we would get out of class, like it'd be end of the day, and then we'd go like get something to eat real quick, or we would just kind of hang out until we started rehearsal like right at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then, I mean, obviously, depending on what roles you have in the musical, like it could be, a different amount of days, but like, um, yeah, I mean, but like, especially like you're saying, the weeks leading up to musical and stuff like the 2 weeks or so before, it's like everybody's there all the time, all night and stuff. Some people probably were going in the mornings for
Hmm.
something, but I I was never gonna be doing that. Like, but like, like I remember in our senior musical, I'm trying to think of, oh, like Bye Bye Birdie. I was in one of the dance numbers and stuff, and I'm not a dancer, so I don't want any credit for being one, but we would be doing that scene like all the time and stuff. So you have certain times to go in for your dance numbers, and then you're kind of just sitting there waiting. So yeah, I mean, you spend like a lot of time at the school and just, I mean, sometimes just sitting around, but other times
Hmm.
you're doing stuff until you get it right or until,
Yeah.
like Harmon thinks you're getting it right. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, did you have any, what was your like role in the musical? Like, do you have any big parts?
um, no. Um, so for our senior musical, Bye Bye Birdie, um, I remember Jim Bruni was the lead, and I can't remember who the female lead was. I want to say Michaela Pruce, but I can't remember all too well, so skip that. But I was literally the mayor, and I
Oh,
had, I think, a single line. I'm pretty sure it was a single line, and then that dance number, and that was literally my role. And then for our junior year, we did Brigadoon, and I literally didn't do anything. I just wore a kilt in the background like everyone else. So
mm.
you're just part of the chorus. So
Hmm.
Hey, makes the musical still work. You got to show up at
Yeah.
your part, you
yeah,
know?
I had fun. I enjoyed, I will say, like the background and stuff, you just, as you guys could probably guess, there isn't like as much pressure with those parts. So it's like you're literally just singing the big chorus numbers,
Hmm.
and then you're kind of, like I said, like you're hanging out and stuff. And so I mean, that was a little bit more fun. And I'm sure obviously having a lead role, it has its own perks and stuff like that, as far as like getting to do a lot of stuff and work on your talent and stuff. But I mean, ultimately, like we kind of just enjoyed like hanging out behind the curtains
Hmm.
and stuff. So
Yeah, my sister was in the musical and she was
yeah.
like, like your part, kind of like background, So
Mhm.
we'd always like, my parents like, you gotta go to like one of the performances. Like,
Yep.
okay. And so,
And
but
then
yeah, they were good. So
yeah, and you see them like two or three times, and then you're like, "Oh, you did great." And then
yeah,
we're all like, "We just stood there," but yeah, thank
yeah, you
you.
did great at like laughing in the background or
Yeah.
saying the
Yeah.
same thing as everyone else at the same time or whatever. But
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, like, how'd you like get into acting? Like, what made you want to get into music and acting?
There's probably a long drawn out answer that I won't bore you guys with. I think it's just more ego than
Mm.
anything. Like it is just kind of like at some points wanting to hear myself talk. Like, like I'm gonna be super honest that like I don't know. Um yeah, I just kind of, there's some people that shy away from the limelight, and I'm not necessarily a person, I wouldn't think that I'm necessarily a person that needs it and stuff. Other people could argue, but that's
Mm.
fine. But like, I mean, I just enjoyed like, being in the midst of stuff. Like I remember doing like one acts and stuff for theater, and like those were a lot of fun because you get to like compete and you feel like you're a part of, kind of like with sports, you feel like you're a part of a team. You're all working on something together and trying to win competitions and stuff. But ultimately, like it's kind of fun, like I don't know, building a different persona for yourself and stuff, and kind of like, I don't know, like sharing stories
Mm.
and stuff, like I know one of our one acts was about like a bread fire. This is so
Mm.
ridiculous. It was a bread factory fire in like the 1800s or something. I can't even remember. No, no, no. It would have been like, yeah. Anyway, there was a fire and it killed a bunch of people, so they had to make a play about it or something. So we did this 30-minute one act for it. And like it's cool because you get a, like I remember I got dressed up in like that era clothing. They whited out my beard and stuff. and like I walked with a cane and with kind of a shuffle and stuff. So it's like you get to become this different person and stuff, and it's cool because like with those you're telling a story. I mean,
Mhm.
Brigadoon, Bye Bye Birdie, you're telling a story that like, some composer, some writer thought was important for that time, maybe they didn't think it was that important then they just wanted money out of it, but still like there was a story to be told somewhere. So
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it's cool to kind of share like you as a person looking in on like a part of history specifically and being like, how do I feel about this? And what can I show other people like how I feel about it and how, ultimately how should they feel about it too, I feel. So
So growing up, did you like have do any of that kind of stuff, or was it sports stuff, or neither, or what was it like
um
growing up then?
growing up, it was definitely more sports stuff. Like, I mean, it's like from a little kid playing baseball
Yeah.
at Christensen Field
Mhm.
and stuff, and then soccer
Yeah.
out there as well and stuff. So like doing stuff like that, and then as time got on, I think I made my way through most of the sports. I mean, I figured out I wasn't good at basketball at all because I was on the C team in middle school. I mean, if that's,
That was those looked fun though.
That
Like
was fun
the
though. Me and
yeah,
I
Jesse were,
enjoyed
yeah.
it. I
yeah,
Everyone I
enjoyed
talked to that did it is like, man, we're going to practice, but like you're like, we're just going to play games.
yeah,
Dude,
because I did eighth grade. It was like Jesse and I would go like, you guys gotta go practice. Jesse and I are just gonna go play pickup. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Oh,
seriously, like we would run maybe a couple plays. Dude, I don't even remember running plays. Like I do just
no, we
remember,
didn't.
like, yeah, I just
yeah.
remember like throwing the ball and chucking and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna act like we were the worst athletes ever, but like
Yeah,
we are just like
Yeah.
here, yeah, we are like Wyatt said, like we're
Yeah.
playing pickup games the whole time. Um, so like doing that stuff, I tried wrestling my freshman year and tore my MCL doing that. So it was like I didn't win a single match. Like I just didn't have that sort of tenacity for that. Like I feel like for each sport you have to have a certain amount of tenacity. And obviously like, like that's still why I didn't go on to play football my senior year or even try to get on a program for collegiate or anything like that. Like, sports were great and they were a thing in my life that taught me a lot of stuff. Um, and yeah, like going back to what you were asking about, Jake, is like with theater and acting and stuff. I mean, that's just something I kind of fell into like I guess kind of when I was younger too and stuff, but like really, like I said, I just have an airhead. So like anytime the spotlight can be on me, I think sometimes I do relish in that. Like I'm not gonna lie and stuff, but there are other times where I'm like, it's cool being in the background too. So yeah, I think it was just like a mixture of a lot of things. Like I have a pretty big personality, I would say sometimes. So, just places where I can like, I don't know, do that without it being like annoying. It's like cool. So, yeah.
yeah. Jake and Jesse, why don't you guys talk about? You guys had a good connection in football. You were
Mhm.
Jesse, you were Jake's center, and you got a good connection with that. So why don't you guys talk about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake, how was I?
Yeah. Well, no, it was well for what did we play? Maybe 4 games together before I broke my leg. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if we won a couple, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever lost a fumble. So I definitely threw a few interceptions,
Well,
but
I remember that my sometimes my snaps were everywhere though. I think it helped Jake because Jake, how tall are you?
just like 6 foot.
Yeah, so like I think it helped that you were like right at the height where if I missed
Yeah.
it, and you have long arms, so like I
Yeah.
think I think you had to grab a couple up and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and grab a
Yeah.
couple in your area and stuff. So like I'm not gonna act like I was a perfect center by any means.
Yeah.
But then also like I've I was during that time, I was 180 pounds. Like in a center position.
Yeah.
Like I was actually, like the Kelseys are in the news and stuff all the
Yeah.
time. I look at like Jason Kelsey and I'm like, nah, there's no way. Like even now I don't weigh what that guy weighs. And his is like his is truly like mostly muscle.
Yeah.
Before we got on this call, I was thinking about like our football stuff, and I'm like, I shouldn't have been in that position, even though I snap a ball
Yeah.
decently. It's like,
Yeah.
geez, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Was it only 4 games that we played before you broke your leg?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So I did it like late October. So if you think, or
Yeah.
maybe so, but yeah, no, I JV football was fun. Like I don't know, we just had up until the injury, but just being with the guys and the coaches, that was just I don't know.
Well, and you remember we had Mr. Jennings,
Yeah,
our head coach at that time.
yeah,
And that's what I'll say Mr. Jennings was a lot of fun to have as a coach. And
yeah.
I'm actually when I heard he was taking over as head coach for Fremont, I was actually pretty jealous because I'm like, he would have been a really good
Yeah,
coach for our years of
yeah.
playing and
Yeah,
stuff.
he does a
Yeah.
great job of connecting with young men and just like encouraging them and coaching them. But
Mhm.
I want to go back to do you remember the play when I broke my leg, what the call was? What they told me to go in and tell everyone?
No, what?
So I do remember vividly.
Yeah, I
So we
was
were
like,
like in
oh, okay.
gun, we were in shotgun, and Juan was to my left.
Huh.
And I remember they said just take a step back and follow Juan on the left side. So I get the
Oh.
snap, I take a step back, I go to my left, Juan's not there. And so I go like try and go in, and then two Lincoln Southwest guys just twist me opposite ways. So I don't know where Juan went, but he wasn't there.
Because what so was it a sneak then?
Yeah, it was just a QB sneak, and I was supposed to follow Juan into the end zone.
Oh, you
But
guys are on the goal line?
yeah, we were on like the 2 yard line.
Oh,
Oh,
see, I don't even
man.
remember that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
No,
So
because I do. I mean, obviously, I remember you breaking your leg. Were we at home during that
yeah, it
game?
was at home. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez and Pete's, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
So you
So
have one to blame for
yeah.
whatever rehabilitation you've had to go.
Yeah. We should have sent Juan the medical bills. So
Is that one other
but
question? Is that
yeah.
Mon asking the one question? Where were you on? Where were
Where were you?
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
That's what
But
this whole interview is about.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and then you were in middle school. Did you play JC football, like the elementary school league, or just middle
Oh
school on
yeah.
up?
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
What team were you on?
Oh, okay.
Well,
Man,
so
I kind of hate the fact that I remember all this stuff. Do you guys ever get that? You're like, I remember too much about
yeah.
Yeah, like you
We
just
can go
remember
into
the
details
randomest
about fourth grade
facts.
football right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
like you just remember
Um
like, the randomest facts.
yeah, so I played on oh my gosh, yeah, the Samter Rams,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
and then
Trash.
y- well, I'm not gonna deny I don't remember. Sure, yeah, probably.
Yeah, sure.
And then I was on what was it? The team was the Chiefs, but I don't remember who the
Um,
Sponsor was.
sponsor was.
yeah,
Yeah.
gosh. Either do I.
All I
Yeah.
remember is the coach for the Chiefs was I can't remember his first name, but it's Chase Oliver's dad.
Mm,
Okay.
So if either of you know Chase, he went to Bergen and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, then Tanner Boggs' dad was one of the coaches too. I remember it.
yes,
Mm.
yes, he was. Yeah. Yeah. How did I get on a team from like Bergen? I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
Yeah,
know.
that
It was
is
all
funny.
ended up kind of being weird. Like I played for the Packers for 3 years, and then
okay.
my sixth grade year, we tried to like stack up the Steelers. So like me and Ty and Trey and Justin Jarman and Dredge and other people went on to the Steelers, and then we lost to the Chiefs because Nolan Dillon destroyed our juniors. Remember that junior senior flip thing? But you kept the
Okay.
score.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no,
So
no, no.
the
Yes.
score didn't change, but
Yes.
juniors would go out and then seniors would come out.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
was it each quarter or was it halves?
Yeah. Maybe it was like 7 minutes or halves or something like
I think it
that.
was
Oh my
quarters or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh
So
my gosh. I don't remember. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
If you had momentum and then like, okay, the second
yeah.
group goes in.
But
And
Nolan Dillon just destroyed everyone. He was so fast.
he was a running back, I take it.
Yeah, I don't know. They would probably just give him the ball and say go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like I remember, like as you get into high school, you remember all these plays and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like I don't remember any of the plays like then. I think, because I was a lineman when I was younger too and stuff. So I think they were like block the person in front of you. I'm like, okay, coach, got it.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like when we get like we talk about that play, that quarterback sneak and stuff with you, Jake. I'm like, oh yeah, I probably would have stepped off this way or that way. But like
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I'm just like, I'm gonna block the first person I see in front of me.
Yeah.
And if they're not there, you go to the backfield and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
so,
with
so yeah,
football, it's
then
simple.
kind of transition into after high school. So
yeah.
you over the recent years you worked with some youth, but kind of after high school, where did you go, or did you work or schooling? What was your next step?
Yeah, so after high school, I went to Northeast Community College, and 2014 to 2016, I earned my associate's degree in audio recording.
Mm,
Uh, so that's like studio recording, live audio, all that kind of stuff. Then actually, so I'll tell it this way. So actually, just this last year, I earned my bachelor's in theology as well. So like
mm,
that's kind of like my academic strain. But right out of high school, well, in high school, I was working at Runza.
mm,
So 2014, we graduate, and I went to work for the YMCA for their 3-month summer fun club. So you're working with kids, you're in there with, kind of people our own age and stuff, and some of the Midland students.
Mhm.
Um, so you're working alongside them with kids. I go on, that experience passed. I was like, okay, that was pretty fun. It was easy. I go on to Norfolk to Northeast, and then my second year living there, I get involved with their after school program called Aftershock, and that's a 21st century learning grant. So obviously the state gives the school grant money to fund this program and stuff. So basically, similar thing is like you're putting on activities for these students after school and doing this. My second year there was in so I was in Norfolk from 2014 to 2017. So then in 2016, 2017, I was the site director out at their junior high school for their older, like their seventh and eighth graders. So kind of doing the same thing, but more so managing the other staff and stuff. I mean, and I'll say managing pretty
mm,
loosely. Like, I mean, we were all about the same age, so it's like whatever. Um, but then I moved back, well, moved to Omaha, and then I started working at a coffee shop downtown, and they were trying to start up their music venue a little bit more seriously. So I became a barista, an engineer, a promoter, and a stage manager for them, which was all too many things to be making what I was making there.
Mhm.
But that's, that was also a different time, so things were way less expensive at that point. Um, and so I was doing that for a year. And then I met some people through the coffee shop that worked for the Hope Center in Omaha and in Fremont.
mm,
So what happened was I was getting kind of tired of my job there at the coffee shop. So I applied for the Hope Center. I got an interview, and then I started working at the one here in Fremont. So I worked at the one here in Fremont from 2018 to 2020. January 2020 was when they shut down the Fremont Hope Center. So I was there up until kind of, the metaphoric ship sank and stuff. So, like I remember loading stuff up into a U-Haul and taking it to the Omaha Center and stuff. And then that was right before. So it didn't shut down because of COVID. It was just happened to be a few months before COVID actually like, swept across the nation and the world and stuff. Um, then I kind of worked for some, I'm trying to think. Yeah, just some not odds and ends stuff, but just kind of some different stuff. Then I actually returned back to the Hope Center in 2020. Um and then was there for about 9 months. And then I left to do some more stuff. And now uh, coming back to Bannister's Leadership Academy, I was there from January of 2022 to July of 2023. And now I'm at 505 Brewing Company stuff. And I've
Sweet.
been there since July and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I probably jumped some stuff, but
Yeah.
that's probably not super important to be honest.
So,
So how new is the brewing company? Is that just like a year old or how old?
So 505 is 2 years old. So this
Okay.
this is our third year, um, and stuff. So they opened their doors 2022, January
Mhm.
2022. So
So
yeah.
what's your role then? What's it with them?
So yeah, so I'm the tapper manager.
Okay.
So just kind of like day-to-day stuff. A lot of events kind of, well, I don't want to say front, but like I help plan and stuff, and then kind of just general management of staff, and kind of working with our brewer and stuff to see
Mm.
what to put on tap, what to take off at certain times, and do all this stuff. So I mean, general management stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna act like it's crazy. I just
Mm.
since I turned like 21 and then 22, I got into craft beer
Mm.
and stuff. So craft beer has always been kind of like a hobby. Like when my wife and I would go on trips and stuff like that, like well, both of our things are kind of like coffee shops and breweries in the area. We want to experience these new things. Um, so like I've been into that stuff, and I've done some home brewing and stuff, and still continue to do some home brewing. So craft beer is just kind of like, a hobby in my opinion.
Mm.
So I met the owners of 505 and just started chatting with them,
Mm.
enjoyed, hanging out with them. The position came open, I talked to them about it, and they were like, yeah, you'd be a good fit. So we just kind of
Mm.
went there, and I just kind of, it's kind of one of those things like, you turn that hobby into like an actual job and
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Mm.
yeah.
going back real quick to working with kids, what did you learn about working with kids that, you know, as a kid, obviously growing up like we did, and a young 20-year-old that you didn't learn before you took all those jobs working with kids?
Yeah. Well, I'll start by saying first that like I never thought I would actually enjoy working with kids. Like I never thought that I would
Mm.
actually like look for positions that work with youth and stuff like that. Like um yeah, like so that's why I brought up the YMCA first, because that was really kind of the first like interaction I had with like working with youth and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um so it was kind of weird looking back on it, but I guess, man, what did I learn? What do I learn? What, man, so much. I think one thing, like, I was thinking about this before we got on too, is that like I don't know if you guys were ever a part of any after school programs when we were growing up here and stuff. Were you guys either of
Mm. I
Maybe at a
did some
really,
YMCA stuff.
yeah, maybe like at a really young age in the summer.
But
you?
yeah, not a whole lot though.
So like now that you guys probably know, like Fremont FPS, they have like an after school program at, I think, at least the middle school and JCAC. They might even have them at the elementary schools. But like ever since we've graduated, there's been this growing populace of like after school programs, like um um Boys and Girls Club.
Mm.
And Boys and Girls Club have been around for a while, like way longer than we have. Same with Hope Center. But like these organizations have just increased in size and number and expansion and stuff. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm learning that like ooh, we have like these new generations coming up that need like more of a push to interact with each other,
Mhm.
because like it's easy to say we interacted with each other when we were kids because we didn't have cell phones. Video games were still pretty like limited. Like we had GameCube and stuff.
GameCube, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was very minimal, and like on that you had to go over to somebody's house to play with them
Yeah.
because
Right.
no one knew how to connect online and stuff like that. So then I mean you see it through our ages though, like we start getting Xbox Live, PlayStation Online, whatever. So you just have these increasing number of things that are taking away youth's engagement with each other. Now they're engaging with each other, but it's truly just through TikTok, Instagram,
Mhm.
or online gaming,
Yeah.
which I think there's a place for that. I'm not gonna be the person to say they shouldn't do that. I think it's fine, but they need more of these things out of class to be like, hey, this person's right in front of you, like interact with them.
Yeah.
Like sports are great. Sports, we do that all the time. But if you're not involved in sports, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
or
That's
like even acting outside of that. It's
yeah.
like, what are you doing? You're going home, maybe doing your homework, and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing video games, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great point. I remember, like, I'm just you saying that makes me think of it. So after going to Howard Elementary, what would we do after school? We'd walk home or we'd walk to someone's house or ride our bikes wherever, like have a snack, go play football in the ditch, go play
Yeah.
baseball at Clemens, or just go run around. And now it's just a completely different, like, okay, we're going home, we're going to upload a TikTok, we're gonna live game. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like and like I said, it's not to knock any of that stuff.
Right.
It's like, it's like so we live like right across the street from Belfield and stuff. In case anyone wants to come find me, I guess. But like ultimately like there's hardly anything going on. It's most of the time the soccer leagues they have going on around town. It's most of the time them playing in that field over there. I don't I mean, I'll see some kids throughout the summer playing on the playground and doing that stuff, but like I'm legitimately like kind of shocked by the amount of like things that aren't going on. Like right
Yeah.
across from my home where there's a park, there's a huge field. Like you said, it's like we're getting people together to go play football like all the time, or we're riding our bikes around town. And I see that like less and less. And that's where I think like these after school programs like and I think homework help and all that stuff is a part of it too. But like ultimately, like the youth of today just aren't engaged with like personal interaction like we used to and stuff. And I like I said, it has its place and stuff, but like there's something to be said, like right now we're on Zoom
Yeah.
and stuff,
Right.
so we're
Yeah.
using this medium to talk to each
Yeah.
other, but I can still see your faces, I can still see your expressions and stuff like that. So I would say Zoom's a bad example, but it's like with TikTok, oh, Jake just put a funny video on there, I'm gonna like it, hopefully that boosts his day a little bit or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm hoping this thing happens
Yeah.
that might not happen,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
off.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
I know.
first Wednesdays of like the month at Bell Field, we got a half a day. So
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
we do, we'd all meet, we'd all like go home, grab our gloves, or somebody grab a wiffle ball and wiffle ball bat. Then we go
Yeah.
back to Bell Field and we play in the field. We'd
Yeah.
play wiffle ball.
Yeah. It's
I
just like
mean,
someone bring a ball. We're good for the afternoon, like
yeah.
for
Yeah.
hours.
Or like the after school program was, hey, let's all meet at the Y. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean,
That's what we all had Y memberships.
yeah, like that was the
So
place to go. When you were at snow day, it wasn't like, oh, I gotta get stay home. Like, oh,
yeah.
I gotta go to the Y. And
Yeah.
Yeah. You
um,
didn't even need to like text anyone. Everyone just like kind of knows, oh yeah, we're going to
Um,
Y or we're
yeah,
going
yeah.
to theirs. So
it's
Yeah.
like,
You knew you would see at least one other person
yeah.
that you could play something with, like do
Yeah.
anything with.
Yeah. And then
I
I
mean,
remember going to the front desk at the Y and calling people and telling them to calling their home phone,
yeah,
dial 9 first.
yeah. No,
So
yeah. See,
like,
oh my gosh. Yeah, see, that's crazy. And then like even think about it like when we were off season from like sports and stuff in high school, it's like where were we at? We were at the gym. Like a lot of us were
yeah,
going to the gym and stuff, or still playing basketball at the Y, doing the same thing. And at this point, we had cell phones,
Yeah.
so we could call each other, but it was still that thing of like, hey, like, and I know like Xbox Live, like we were all doing that and stuff too, but like most of the time, it's like I would see, I mean, I would see you guys at the gym. I would see most people at the gym. So, but it was because we were used to doing that for like
Hmm.
most of our lives.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where am I gonna see my friends? I don't really want to hang out at the home at the house, so I'm gonna go to the Y and do this stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't know how you guys' parents were, but my parents, like, so I was at the Y because they wouldn't let us get live. They're like, you're not getting live. And and what my brother and I would just look at it and we're like, okay, my dad didn't let us play any of those like war games. We could only play sports games. If we played the war games, he'd take the Xbox away from us.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, like we had the benefit of that. Like, were your guys' parents like push you to go to the Y sometimes, or how did that work?
I wouldn't say push. It was more of just like, yeah, I mean, maybe it was a little bit of push. I think it was just more of like we knew they weren't going to let us
Mm.
spend
Right.
all of our time on
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah.
Like they would say eventually like, "Hey, you need to go do something else." And then like also like I had the benefit of like I played guitar and stuff, so like a lot of the time in high school, middle school and high school, I would play guitar in my room too. So it's like I had another thing that was like kind of distracting me from video games. I
Mhm.
mean, of course, weekends were always Halo and Call of Duty and stuff, but
Right.
like, yeah, I don't know, Jake, what do you?
Yeah. No, I just I don't know. I just didn't really want to. I played like NCAA football on the GameCube, but I just didn't. I just wanted to go outside, go play sports, be around. I didn't really want. I did a little bit play, but and they weren't. I guess if I was addicted, I probably got in trouble more. But I wanted to go outside and like play kickball and do all the stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
So
um,
yeah.
I had the benefit I lived right by the Y. So
yeah,
it's like we didn't have a if it was past 6 o'clock, which wasn't me, it was mostly my brother, like they're like they'd call, be like, where is he? And
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's like you can come home whenever.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, I actually, I was thinking about this too. So I was involved with First Baptist Church's youth group. So like we would be and you guys know Jake Weiss.
mhm.
So like I would be over at like towards the like sophomore to senior year of high school, I would go like I remember the days is like when I wasn't in a sport, you get done with school, you go to the Y and get a workout in, then you go home, change, shower. I would go to their place and we would just like watch movies or hang out there, or yeah, or there was something else going on at night, so
Mhm.
you just go do that and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was hardly a time. And actually there were quite a few times where like on a Thursday night I'd get home at midnight and my parents were like, yeah, as long as we know where you are,
Yeah.
it's pretty chill. Like, and I mean, it helped that I was at my youth pastor's house
Hmm.
because
Oh
my dad
yeah.
pastor, so it kind of helped. But
Yeah.
still, like, I mean, they were like, as long as we know where you are and you're getting your schoolwork done and all that stuff, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So now, Jesse, so what's kind of you're working at the brewery? What else are you kind of up to? What's with your life? What's going on?
Oh man. Well, you probably feel this too, man. So my daughter is two years old. She's
Wow.
probably
Nice.
closer to two and a half. So that's my life.
Hmm.
Like seriously, like just coming home, hanging out with Ariane and my wife and my daughter Charlotte. Like that's a lot of it, and just like it's just like day by day watching this little person grow and stuff like that. Like you never think about it before you have kids and stuff like that, that like how much time this thing is actually gonna take up. Um, but it really consumes your time in a good way, in a very good way. But so I mean, my time is really filled with that. Like it truly is like work, um, and then family time and stuff like that. Like I try my best to separate sometimes work, kind of with every job, maybe some jobs more than others, kind of overtakes like like this weekend, I'll have to go in Saturday night. I try and not go in on weekends and stuff, which is pretty fortunate that my owners allow me to do that. But I'll be there from like 5 to 9 p.m. And then I'll open on Friday, so I'll be there from like 2:30 to 5. So like it kind of cuts into a
Mhm.
bit of the weekend and stuff. But like ultimately, like, after doing school again for another like 3 years when I was getting my theology degree, I just decided like I need to like not do anything outside of
Mhm.
like work and family because it took up. I was doing school um when Charlotte was born and stuff, which is not a bad thing. People do it and stuff like that. And I don't feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff, but there's always this thing in the back of your head, like you have an assignment due or
Mhm.
like have this thing to get done. So like now I'm just kind of like, if I come home and I don't want to do anything but just like hang out with them, I have that ability. So
Mhm.
like that's been something that's been pretty important. And obviously, as you know, too, adult life, it can get hectic. So sometimes you only get to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours with your loved ones at night and stuff, but it's still like you try your best to cherish those moments and stuff. So
Nice. Well,
yeah.
thanks for coming on, Jesse, and sharing your
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
And
we appreciate it.
I'm really happy to have you on, and great to catch up again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's good to see you guys.
You too. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
thanks.
Yeah, thank you.